brace yourselves because what we are about to tell you might sound like science fiction. A question that's been doing the rounds for the longest time. Do aliens exist? And a Cold War era incident might have just added another layer to that big question. According to a formerly classified document, originally made public in 2000 but recently resurfacing, a bizarre and deadly encounter allegedly unfolded somewhere in the Soviet Union around 1989 or 1990. The document, believed to be based on a 250-page KGB file obtained after the USSR's collapse, outlines a chain of events that reads more like a sci-fi movie script or a novel than a military report. It all started with 25 Soviet troops on a routine training mission near a military base near present-day Ukraine or Siberia. And that's when the soldiers reportedly spotted a quiet saucer-shaped craft hovering at low altitude. One of them fired a surface-to-surface missile directly striking the mysterious object and bringing it plummeting to the ground. But what followed was anything but ordinary. 5 short humanoid creatures reportedly exited the craft. You heard that right. According to the CIA document, they had oversized heads, large black eyes, moved with unsettling speed, and later merged into a single spherical-shaped glowing object. And then the unimaginable happened. The object unleashed a blinding burst of light, and within seconds, 23 soldiers were turned to stone, literally stone. 2 troops managed to survive only because they were standing in the shadow of a nearby structure. According to the memo, the KGB wasted no time. They allegedly collected the bodies and the alien wreckage and transported everything to a top-secret facility outside Moscow. As for the weapon that caused this, it was described as something far beyond what modern science could possibly understand, let alone replicate. Fast forward to the Trump administration. During his 2024 campaign, in fact, he dismissed the idea of aliens outright. But once elected, he signed an executive order mandating the release of all federal files related to extraterrestrial activity. Trump said Americans deserved to know the truth and deserved to know if a decades-long cover-up had actually taken place. The memo at the heart of all this, it's been circulating online for over a year now and igniting a heated debate. Was this an actual alien attack or just a brilliant piece of Cold War propaganda designed to scare the West? We may never know. Regardless, the mystery of extraterrestrial life just got a lot stranger. To stay up, our top story tonight on Gravitas starts off with a critical question. Will US President Donald Trump order a strike on Iran's nuclear facilities? It may sound drastic, but there are signs that this could become a very real option on the table. And let's tell you why this question is being asked. 2 major developments could determine the answer. First, there is a second round of talks between the US and Iran scheduled in Oman this Saturday. And if those talks fail, diplomacy may disappear fast. Second, the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog is visiting Tehran tomorrow. And if that visit does not yield meaningful results, especially in verifying Iran's uranium enrichment and nuclear intentions, the pressure will only mount. And here's where it gets even more serious. Trump's special envoy to West Asia, Steve Witkoff, has made one thing very clear. Any new deal with Iran must include strict verification mechanisms. That includes monitoring Iran's uranium enrichment levels and checking for any weaponization efforts. And Iran is drawing the red line. A spokesperson for the IRGC, in fact, has made it absolutely clear. Iran's military capabilities, including its missile arsenal and defense infrastructure, are non-negotiable. So, with diplomacy hanging by a thread, with hardliners on both sides setting the stage for confrontation in a way, we are circling back to that question we started off with. Is Trump preparing to bomb Iran's nuclear production sites? That is the big story tonight. Now, according to U.S. intelligence assessments and the latest data from the International Nuclear Watchdog, Tehran can quickly build a nuclear bomb if it chooses to. That means Iran's nuclear capabilities are approaching a critical threshold. Speaking to Fox News, Witkoff emphasized that Iran has no need to enrich uranium beyond 3.67% for a peaceful energy program, which was the limit set under the 2015 nuclear deal known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. That agreement, as you would remember, was abandoned by Trump in 2018. But you see, Iran is not sticking to that 3.67% figure. Instead, it's enriching uranium at levels as high as 60% in some facilities, 60, and just 30% short of weapons-grade material. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency, Iran now possesses nearly 275 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%. Nearing the weapons grade of 90%. U.S. officials warning that if Iran makes the political decision to weaponize that stockpile, it could convert the material into weapons grade within 7 to 10 days. While building an actual weapon could take longer, somewhere between 12 and 18 months by most U.S. estimates, experts do believe at this point that Iran could build a crude, deliverable nuclear device in just 6 months or even less, if its scientific teams are mobilized immediately. And here's the key point. Those teams already exist. U.S. intelligence agencies believe Iran has assembled the technical personnel and infrastructure needed to build a bomb rapidly. That is, if the supreme leader gives the green light. So if Trump decides to bomb Iran's nuclear sites, what are his options? Here's a look at the map on your screen right now. These are the locations of Iran's nuclear sites spread across different parts of the country. It's important to note here that Witkoff stopped short of calling for a complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Instead, he stressed on the importance of monitoring and verifying both Iran's enrichment levels and its missile development. He pointed out that weaponization is not just about nuclear material. It includes nuclear delivery systems, warhead design, the triggering mechanism for a detonation. These comments by Witkoff come just days after he led a high-level U.S. delegation to Oman last week with Iranian officials, which both sides described as constructive. And in his first comments since the talks, Iran's supreme leader has said that the talks went well, further urging the U.S. to not tie Iran's affairs to the second round of talks. These talks, incidentally, were the first direct engagement between Tehran and Washington since the 2015 nuclear deal collapsed. Iran's foreign minister, for that matter, who took part in those discussions, is expected to travel to Moscow later this week for further consultations with Russian officials. And his visit comes as the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog is scheduled to arrive in Tehran tomorrow and plans to meet with senior Iranian officials, including Arakchi and the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Agency. And even as diplomacy continues to play out, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is drawing red lines. Similar to Khamenei's statements, a spokesperson for the IRGC, Iran's military capabilities, including its defense and missile arsenal, are non-negotiable in the second round of talks with the U.S., adding that national security matters are off the table, no matter what incentives or pressures the U.S. brings to the table. And regarding Iran, U.S. President Donald Trump told reporters in Washington, and I'm quoting here, "I'll solve that problem, and that's almost an easy one." Listen to this.
I want them to be a rich, great nation. The only thing is, one thing, simple. It's really simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And they got to go fast because they're fairly close to having one. And they're not going to have one. And if we have to do something very harsh, we'll do it.
And Iran, for its part, insists its nuclear program is peaceful. Officials say the enriched uranium is for medical and energy needs, not weapons. The regime has repeatedly denied any intention to build a bomb.
Iran's main negotiation topic and primary demand is the removal of the unjust and illegal sanctions imposed on the Iranian people for decades. This is a serious and fundamental request, and we made this clear in the negotiations in Muscat.
Iran's state media, for that matter, has echoed the government's position, stating that Tehran's regional influence and missile program off limits in any negotiation. Iran's red lines are clear, and they appear to be hardening with each round of international engagement. And the next round of Iran-US nuclear talks is scheduled for this Saturday, like we said, and it comes amid the increasing possibility that Iran may soon possess everything it needs to join the nuclear club, if it hasn't already. So the question still remains, will Trump bomb Iran's nuclear facilities, or is America prepared or willing to accept the emergence of a new nuclear power in West Asia? For decades, militaries have relied on advanced cloaking technologies to dominate the skies, but now the era of invisibility could be collapsing. Our next story, taking a deep dive into emerging technologies like quantum radar, which could make even the stealthiest aircraft lose its most potent capability. They cannot hide in the skies. Take a look.
Fighter jets have long ruled the skies cloaked in silence, sleek, sharp and nearly invisible. They glide through radar systems with ease. 5th and 6th generation aircraft like America's F-35, China's J-20 or Russia's MiG-41, touted as future stealth fighters, are all engineered with stealth coatings, radar absorbent materials and advanced contours that fool conventional detection. And then there are drones. Small, silent and elusive. Too compact to ping on standard systems, they slip past defenses, delivering surveillance or even strikes before they are noticed. But now, an invisible revolution is taking shape. Fighter jets use radar-absorbent materials, angular designs, to deflect or absorb electromagnetic waves. Drones exploit radar blind spots by flying low and slow, yet quantum radar, a revolutionary leap in detection, is rendering these tricks obsolete due to their precision.
This is an example of something called a quantum clock, and it's a bit like an ultra-precise wristwatch. But now, if we started it ticking at the beginning of the universe, it wouldn't have lost a second by now.
Unlike conventional radar, which relies on radio waves bouncing off targets, quantum radar uses entangled photons pairs of light particles linked across distances. Even if a stealth jet absorbs or scatters most photons, the remaining entangled pairs retain information about the target's location and shape. This quantum fingerprint allows detection with unprecedented precision, bypassing traditional stealth tactics designed to minimize radar cross-sections. Quantum radar can detect the tiny machines so they can be tracked or intercepted.
If you imagine how your eye operates, your central vision is really good at giving you a sharp image of what you're looking at. Your peripheral vision is terrible at doing that, but your peripheral vision is optimized to detect movement. And what we're trying to do is to supercharge the peripheral vision of radar.
Militaries across the world, especially in China, Canada and Europe, are now racing to develop the quantum radar technology. Stealth as we know it is dying. The future belongs to those who can see the unseen. Bureau Report, WION World is One.